Hey, everybody, and welcome to the True Crime Squad. This is Katie Weaver. I'm here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Kristi Brower. Hello.
Hello. Cheers. Still a honey peach right here for tonight.
Well, damn. I didn't know it was wine o'clock.
I mean, Thanksgiving is tomorrow. You haven't already started drinking?
I know. I have not. No.
Oh, well, I
No,
have
but
one.
mostly because I have a big list of things that I need to happen today, and a very few of those things have happened yet today. So,
Oh,
unbeknownst to my kids who are on their way home right now, they're looks to me like they're about 2 hours away at this point. Yeah, they're gonna have to help me do some cooking tonight because
ah,
I
well,
kind of hit the wall early today and just didn't feel good enough. So I'm gonna have a little bit of help, but
see,
that's fine.
that's part of why they come home, isn't it?
Well, in my
Oh,
eyes. Also, their dad is cooking Matea's favorite meal in the world by request. So,
oh,
you know,
nice.
they'll come home, we'll feed them. Yeah. One day he just ad-libbed and kind of tore apart a couple of recipes and made it's a curried coconut pumpkin, or he's doing acorn squash this time, but
Mm,
soup. But he kind of made it more like pho,
mm,
and
mm.
they love it. It's highly requested around here.
That sounds
So,
fabulous.
yeah. But I also have been cooking other things, not today, but yesterday. So for Cookie Day, I've been trying to try out my recipes a little bit just to make
Oh,
sure. So I saw this recipe and I thought it looked so interesting. And so I'm curious to know if you guys have ever made these or had these before. I had not. So it's candied oranges. You can do it
ooh.
with any citrus apparently, but I bought a big bag of
I think
oranges.
I have had one like in a candy shop one time.
Uh-huh. Holy hell. We're definitely making these for Cookie Day. They turned out amazing.
Awesome. They look fabulous.
It's just oranges and sugar and water, and you
Hmm.
boil them at a certain, pace, and you blanch them first, and there's steps, but it's not a lot of ingredients. It's not terribly hard, but holy cow, they turned out amazing. Wow.
Mm, that sounds great.
So, yeah, I'm kind of tempted to try it. I think this would be amazing with grapefruit, but
Ooh,
right, candied grapefruit. I don't know.
ooh,
We may try.
well, yeah.
So that's at least one thing that I
Oh,
have
lime.
accomplished, but
I'm saying lime.
I think limes too would be amazing. Yeah, maybe worth trying. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
yes. So that's all. So, what about you? What you been doing all day?
You know, I had a couple doctor's appointments. We went to the store for the last of our things we needed because, of course, we thought we did that over the weekend, and then no, we did not because
Oh,
that's just how holiday meal shopping
oh,
goes.
definitely. Yeah, we filled a cart at Walmart today, and we bought our groceries last week too. Yeah,
And then, well, I've been printing. I've been working on printing some Christmas presents and just
fun.
kind of chilling. So, actually, I still have a big cheesecake to make. I think I'm just gonna make it
Uh,
in the morning.
oh yeah.
Uh, and a ham cook tomorrow. And I have not even considered Cookie Day yet. I haven't even gotten there, so it's probably the kick in the butt I needed right here when you said that. So, oh shit. Oh yeah, that's coming up too. Damn,
Yeah. Well, not to the 15th. I mean, you have a couple of weeks, but
I got
still.
some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. Sounds great. We had to drive up to the valley today. So, where we're from is Driggs, Idaho, up in Teton Valley, at the base of the
Mm.
Tetons. And my husband is a home inspector, and he inspects for banks mostly for new properties. And he's had quite a few homes up there here this last year, which has been so nice because
Oh
going to the
yeah.
valley just feels like going home, which is kind of wild because we
Mm.
moved out of there when you were 5 and I was 4. I mean, we haven't lived there in a really long time, but we still have family there.
Hmm.
And it's just a coming home event to go there. Even if we don't even get out of the car, we just drive around, we
Yeah.
do our inspections, we sit at the base of the Tetons for a minute and just breathe it all in, and then we go home. That's what we did
Yeah.
today,
Nice.
but I just love going there. Occasionally swing through
I
the
love going there
cemetery
too.
and go to grandma's grave, and
Hmm.
it's just where I want to be. I don't want to
Sure.
live there, however. Oh, Marta was born in Jackson Hole. Okay, sure.
Oh, you were born in Jackson
Yeah.
Hole. Marta, that is where we are going on Saturday for my birthday is
Yes.
Jackson Hole.
Mhm. One of the
So
fancy
how
whiskey
cool.
stores. Yeah,
So we were just born across the mountain range from each other, Marta.
we really were. Wow.
Hmm.
Well, I just love that area. I would not live there. Well, I could not live there, to be frank. I mean, my God. I was looking at property values up there today just for fun because we were having a
Crazy.
debate over. We saw a property that was for sale with 1,200 acres, and we were debating how much we thought that the price tag was on that. It's insanity. It's insanity. There are half-acre lots up there selling for $250,000. Half-acre lots.
Whoa,
Yeah,
that's insane.
it's crazy talk. It is. But boy, is it beautiful. Right as poverty with a view these days. Indeed.
It
Yeah.
is. It's insane because I mean, it's just all dry farm up there. That's what our grandparents
Hmm.
and all of our relatives had. And now it's like this resorty, super expensive stuff that I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. Oh,
Our,
look at this,
our
Jen.
family homesteaded there.
Yeah. Yeah. Jen will be 49 on the 5th. You guys are only 5 days apart.
Jen,
Happy
birthday
birthday, dear
buddy.
Jen. Yeah. Well, we've got
Nice.
crime. Yes, we do.
Oh.
We've got
Everything
crime.
I
How about
have,
you?
a huge amount of what I have is just crazy shit. Like, what
Hmm.
is going on? What's going on? As if America, hello, we are the armpit of the world. That's what's going on.
We are
And
the hottest of hot messes currently.
we are.
Yes.
And there are.
What is going on?
Um, I have so many. I have just so many ridiculous stories for you. And I thought, hey, you know what? That's a pretty good way to kick off Thanksgiving and have a pretty good laugh, and also a what the fuck about 400 times. So yeah,
Hmm. That sounds right. I just had to say that
yeah.
it's also Victoria's birthday on the 5th, so happy birthday to you as well. We've got a lot of Sages in the
Happy
house.
birthday!
Hmm.
Yeah, and Tom's birthday tomorrow or Saturday. I mean,
Yeah. Love it. Love
I
it,
was at the
love it.
doctor today. The nurse's sister's birthday is tomorrow on Thanksgiving. Like all
It's
our
just
parents are
everyone.
getting pretty busy, around Valentine's Day.
Hmm. That's what's up.
Hmm.
Oh,
So
well.
my wine keeps splashing back up at me.
Oh, no. Well, let's kick it off with. Well, let's talk about Thomas Creech.
Yes. Here we go. Idaho and the fucking death penalty. Here's Thomas Creech. Y'all remember him? We talked about him a lot earlier this year. He
Hmm.
is he's been on death row for like my entire life
Yeah.
here in Idaho, and and uh, there was an attempt at an execution of his this spring that did not go well. They couldn't get a vein on him, and so it was unsuccessful. So
Hmm.
then Idaho has been trying yet again now that they've adapted their facilities to give him a central line so that they
Hmm.
can still execute him. This is the stuff that I just, I'm not saying that Creech is a good guy. He did a lot of really bad things. We don't even know how many people. He's been convicted for the murders of 5 people. He
Hmm.
has confessed to somewhere upwards of 42. He is a serial killer.
Well, yeah.
However, Idaho really is very bloodthirsty about Creech, and it just really,
All of a
I think the
sudden.
bloodthirstiness is gross.
I'm,
Yeah, all of a sudden, I mean, he's been on death row my entire life.
hmm.
Um, so after that failed lethal injection, there was an appeal filed for him claiming that the second attempt would constitute cruel and unusual punishment and violate
Hmm.
double jeopardy protections.
Hmm.
So there was another death warrant filed for him on November 13th. So then a whole bunch of appeals happened again. And a ruling came down from the Idaho Supreme Court today stating that the court felt that he failed to meet the mark on several points in his appeal.
Mm-hmm.
The court also held that Creech failed to state a claim under the Eighth Amendment because he failed to propose an alternative execution method.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's kind of tough to do because we don't actually have one right now,
Right.
Idaho.
Interesting.
Um,
That was the
this
point
vote
that
came from the Idaho Supreme Court.
the judge made to Kohberger as well.
Yeah, which is interesting because I mean we have on the books we have firing squad, but they're
Mm-hmm.
still building the facility to do firing squad.
Right.
Right. He's dying. Also, you're right, Teresa, the drugs expired. $100,000
Yep.
of execution drugs expired. So they
Mm-hmm.
now have to get new drugs. What is the point of this? What is the point of this?
It's really
All
hard to
this money,
understand.
all of the money for the appeals, all the money for the drugs again. Like, come on. Just let him die in prison. Like, what is the big freaking rush, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Idaho tried several times to execute Gerald Pizzuto. That didn't go. So now they decided to switch to Creech.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I, I don't get it. The waste of resources, and just the weird bloodthirstiness of it that after he's been in prison for almost 50 years, now it's time to kill him? Like,
Right. It's weird.
why? Why?
Yeah.
He's never getting out of prison. There's no
No.
question that he's guilty. He's never going to leave the Idaho Penitentiary. It's just not happening.
So why in the hell are they spending this much time, energy, and money? Why?
Why? I just, it's gross. It just makes me sick to my stomach. Like, how are we better than Creech as a people?
Mm-hmm.
You know, isn't that the whole idea?
Right.
We should, as a populace,
Mm-hmm.
we don't tolerate murder. Doesn't that mean we also shouldn't be committing it with our tax dollars and our elected officials? So, anyway,
Uh,
I'm sure we're going to see a new death warrant on Creech very soon, but Idaho's going to have to pull some sneaky stuff and get the meds.
oh,
That's
I'm
different.
sure. It'll be some bullshit because they don't have to tell anybody where they got the meds anymore.
Right. And yeah, so they can do some shady shit that now doesn't even get reported
Mm-hmm.
because all the shady shit they were doing was getting reported and they don't like that. How many
Right.
folks are on death row in Idaho? Not
Oh
very many.
gosh. I think that's 8 and Chad Daybell made 9.
Something like that, yeah. We haven't had an execution in Idaho since 2012. Um, you know, all the majority of people on death row have been on there a long, long time and are just going to die
Mm-hmm.
in prison,
Yeah.
from their veterinarian, right? I mean, that's illegal, but it doesn't mean they won't do it. It does. It does seem gruesome at this point. Yeah. Yeah. Teresa
Yeah.
says it's a power thing, is my guess, or testosterone poisoning, right? Like sometimes it's the state flexing its power, right?
Yeah.
Because, everybody's been real hot to execute Chad Daybell and Brian Kohberger, who hasn't even
Mm-hmm.
been convicted of a crime yet.
right.
Like,
That's not even going to
might
come
want to
for another
slow
6 months
down
to a
until,
year.
wait till there's an actual trial on him. I mean, Chad Daybell's
Mm-hmm.
on death row now, but I
Yeah.
mean, he has many years of appeals. This is the thing. I mean, this is not like the consequence comes immediately. It doesn't. It takes literal decades.
Right.
The execution of Thomas Creech is going to be very traumatic for
Mm-hmm.
people who have worked at the prison for their entire careers and know
Yeah.
this man as a prisoner and are finding this really disgusting and weird and have begged for clemency for him. Like, just let him die in prison. What is the difference?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyway, I'm sure we'll see a new death warrant on Creech now because the Idaho Supreme Court, well, they're going to appeal up to the Supreme Court, the federal Supreme Court, but I doubt that they take up his case where the
Nah.
Idaho Supreme Court didn't.
I doubt it too. Yep.
Right, Rita? Rita says, I'm feeling like death penalty drains money and time and not closure. Right.
Yep.
It's not closure. It's 30 years later. How is that closure? It isn't.
Right.
And
And
it's
it just
so
keeps dragging the
incredibly,
victim's family back to court over and over and over
all
so they
these
can't
appeals
ever
and
get closure. This is crueler to the victim's family for this shit to go on now for nearly 50 years. This is
I think so.
crueler to the family than just giving him life in prison ever would have been.
Right, right. And our legal system is not supposed to be a vehicle for revenge.
No, but it's really
That's what
turned
this
into
is.
that. Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, to answer the past, I was correct about that. It is nine
Mm.
people on death row. There is one woman and eight men. The woman, of course, is Robin Lee Rowe. She has been in prison now since 1993 for murdering her husband, son, and daughter in Ada County. She will never, Idaho has never executed a woman. They will never
Hmm.
execute Robin Lee Rowe.
She's
She
never
will
even had a
just,
death warrant.
no,
They'll never execute her.
that'll never happen. Yep.
It's why when that happened with Lori Vallow and everyone was like, "Oh no, we want her to get the death penalty," we were like, "It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Idaho's never going to execute a woman."
But a lot of them are pretty old. Azad Abdullah, 2004. Of course, Thomas Creech, 1983. Chad Daybell, 2024. Uh, Timothy Dunlap, 1992. James
Oh yeah.
Hairston, 1996. Eric Hall, 2004. Gerald Pizzuto, 1986. And Jonathan Daniel Renfro is actually 2017, so he's one of the newer ones. But a lot of these are old cases, the people that have been in prison
Yeah.
for decades. Yeah,
And that's the thing. I mean, Idaho has set a precedent now where
yeah.
it doesn't execute people on death row.
Mm-mm.
And now we're going to go back to the very beginning with people that have been on death row for, 3, 4 decades.
Yeah,
It's just gross.
it's crazy for sure. Okay, well, let's move on. We have a lot. Uh, remember how we said that the James Craig trial would be starting in the end of November, first part of December? This is the dentist, who did the poisoning of his wife in her protein drinks in Colorado. Yeah, well, that's not going to trial anytime soon for two reasons. The biggest one is because sounds like his attorney has had enough and quit, and because there's new charges. Why? Oh, just because he was trying to get a fellow inmate when they were released to murder a sheriff's deputy, someone who has been working on his case.
This man needs done
He,
forever. Holy hell.
there is no bottom for this guy. Oh, to kill a detective. Sorry, not a deputy, a detective. Yeah. Yep. So they were in jail together in May and June of 2023. And then again last month, this guy was arrested on an auto theft charge and spilled his guts to the police that Craig's been trying really hard to get him to do the murders for him. So that's not going to go to
So
trial anytime soon. It's indefinite at this point.
wild.
So maybe,
Oh,
maybe just knock it off. I don't know. Maybe just knock it off.
quit crime and even prison. Even in
Yeah.
prison. Can you imagine his attorney has got to be like, son of a bitch, I am out.
Out.
Not
Yep.
dealing with this shit anymore.
Yep.
Let's see. Marta asked about Claude Dallas. And yes, I do remember this. Claude Dallas killed 2 game wardens in Idaho on May 16th in 1986. He was convicted of voluntary manslaughter. This was not a death penalty case. It was not a first-degree murder case.
Oh,
He got 30 years to life. So
wow. Is he still alive?
that's what I'm trying to decide. I'm not sure.
Oh, Teresa said he served 22 years and was released.
Oh yeah, he's. Oh yeah, right. He's the guy that escaped initially.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. I was like, this is a bigger story that we should be telling. Yeah.
I hadn't thought of it in a long time, but I remember when it happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. Brief, kind of. We were kids, but
Hmm. We were, but like our dad was a big hunter or fisherman, so
yeah. So you might think that if you have women in jail and you have men in jail and they're segregated from each other, that you don't have to worry about birth control, right? Well, our definitely dumb criminals of the day tell a different story. Go ahead.
These jackasses right here
Get your puke
are,
buckets. This is terrible.
this is so gross, but I kind of had to tell it because it's also funny.
This deserved a song, really. It did.
So, Daisy Link, who was facing a murder charge, gave birth to a girl in June, fathered by Joe DePaz. How, you ask? Of course, this is in Florida because, of course, it is. So, yes, men and women housed in separate places in this Florida jail.
Hmm.
However, um, they their cells shared an air conditioner vent, and they started talking to each other through the air conditioner vent. And they started passing notes and pictures to each other.
And
And they
guys, it
developed,
was love.
it was love. It was love at first vent.
Hmm.
And they started passing pictures and notes and all kinds of stuff. Well, DePaz had told Link that he had always wanted to father a child, but since he was in jail and accused of murder, that might not be a thing for, well, maybe a long time, if not ever.
Hmm.
But you know what? They decided they were going to give it a go anyway.
As you do.
How, you ask? Yeah. They used bedding to make a line, like a string line, basically, that passed between their two air vents, so they could pass things back and forth to each other with the line.
Hmm.
Uh, so DePaz made a donation into some saran wrap,
Oh, God.
and then he rolled it up and he tied it to the line, and Link just pulled it on through. Then she took the donation
Oh,
and put
God.
it inside of a yeast infection applicator. You know what I'm saying? And then, as she said,
Applicated it.
she administered it to herself. And if you can fucking believe this, she got pregnant.
I can believe this. Yes, I can.
What in the? Link says, I can't believe it worked. I think everything happened for a reason.
Oh,
That
this
you
poor
are
baby. Are
stupid
you
as
kidding?
hell. Right.
Both of you fools are being charged with murder. And everything happens for a reason?
Yeah. So, Paz's mother is now raising this baby. Wonder if she knew about
Hmm.
this and that the plan was for her to raise the baby. Because
I'll
these
bet
idiots
she
are in
did
jail.
not.
They're now in different jails. Seems wise. Hopefully they fixed those air vents. Oh my god. Uh, DePaz is telling everyone that Daisy Link is just like the Virgin Mary. Except, no, she is not.
They didn't even have saran wrap back then. I just don't even think that's true.
Right. Yeah. Apparently they communicate over the phone and have video visits with their daughter. Uh, DePaz's murder trial is scheduled for May of 2025, and Daisy Link's murder trial has not yet been scheduled. And their poor child has to grow up with this dumbass story.
Mm,
Some people are too fertile for their own goddamn good.
yeah.
Can you believe that worked?
I cannot believe that worked. I just can't. I'm so grossed out by the whole thing. Like, this is
Her
horrific.
description of what she did is like, oh my god.
Ooh.
And then she says, and then I administered it to myself. Oh,
I'm ill. I'm ill.
good God. Right?
Yes. Poor
Samuel says,
baby.
this poor child will someday read about how she was conceived.
Right?
And these geniuses felt like, as they're both facing murder trials, that they thought the best plan was to bring a baby into the world? God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not
Oy.
genius level stuff. Good
No.
Lord. Well,
So
that's
all
just
the
terrible.
best to the Saran Wrap baby. I hope she's doing well.
Hmm. Right? And that
I hope
grandma's
they'll just move to
okay.
another country so she never has to know what happened.
Yeah, indeed.
But yeah, that's some bullshit.
Hmm. Speaking of some bullshit, we have been watching Brian Kohberger's attorneys try to just baffle everyone with bullshit now for what, 2 years now? And
Hmm.
you know that Ann Taylor, she peppered the courts with a enormous amount of filings a couple of weeks ago. Like
Yes.
everything she'd already filed with Judge that she didn't win, she's come back to the new judge with, right? And hit him with all of these things. And Judge Himmler.
Himmler
And
did.
yeah. And so there's an order because they filed for a Franks motion. And because they're claiming that there's been a bunch of discovery issues and stuff, and there may have been. But the response to this cracked me up a little bit because basically this is the epitome of baffle them with bullshit and try to get away with it and having the judge go, I don't think so. Here's what the judge said. Before the court is the defendant's motion for Frank's hearing and memorandum in support of motion for Frank's hearing. Accompanying the motion are 38 exhibits comprising of over 2,000 pages. This is what she gave the court to review. Unfortunately, defendant's memorandum largely fails to identify with particularity the relevant portions of the exhibits, instead referring simply to the exhibit number without identifying the precise pages at issue. Thus, the court is left with the unenviable task of sifting through the pages and pages of largely irrelevant documents to ascertain what portion defendants may be referring to. The court is not required to search the record looking for evidence. Consequently, if defendant wants the motion to be considered, he must file a revised memorandum identifying the relevant portions of the record by page number and line number if referring to testimony for the facts asserted. In addition, defendant must resubmit his supporting exhibits to exclude portions that are not relevant to the motion. Because the state is under a deadline to respond, the court will allow the defendant until Tuesday, November 26th, which is actually already passed, to submit revised filings. She gave them 2,000 pages of stuff and said, here you go.
Oh my
Can
God.
you believe that?
Yes, I can because this is Ann Taylor, and she
Yes.
is honestly a pretty insufferable person. I
She,
just
yeah.
I realize this is a robust defense, whatever. She is very difficult to listen to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That,
I'm
it
very
just
glad
cracked
Himmler
me
is
up,
like,
though.
listen.
Yeah, I like Judge Himmler a lot. The court is not required. He even notated that with or annotated that with case law that we don't have to
Mhm.
do this shit. Like it's not our job. You do your job,
Right, like if you have
and
an
we'll
issue,
do
you gotta
ours.
say what the issue is.
Hmm.
Not just here, read this 2,000 pages and figure it out.
Hmm. And
The
yes, she's
hell?
definitely trying to overwhelm the court, but it's not
Oh yeah,
working with Judge Himmler. He is just very no nonsense.
yeah. She got away with some stuff
I was going to say
with
Judge
Judge
just may have
Judd.
put up with that, but Himmler is not putting up with that.
Mm-mm.
Also, a quick filing in Lori Vallow a few days ago. Nothing huge, but this is from the Court of Appeals. It's a briefing reset. The appellant's brief is due. Basically, it's a reminder that briefing in from the appellant is due on or before December 26th on a fourth extension of time. Basically, the courts are
Mm-mm.
saying, hey, we're expecting this. And
Mm-mm.
which makes me think that they're probably not going to be able to get another extension on that one. They've had four.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do they do when she's out of the state being tried in something else?
I don't know. I don't know if she even has to appear. This is just like
Maybe this is
the
just
most
her attorney.
basic. Yeah, this is the most basic of filings. They just, in the same way that they have done with Chad Daybell, said, it's
Mm-hmm.
we have voluminous evidence here, and it's going to take us a half a zillion years to go through it, and we have all these other
Right.
cases, and we're very overwhelmed, and yada yada. It's kind of the same vein that they've just keeps asking for another extension, but the court
But
said
they've had,
it's
what,
due.
almost 18 months.
Day after Christmas, bro. It is due. So we'll see if they file for another extension, or if they're going to finally get their appeal filed.
Yeah. Very curious.
Yeah. So let's see. Talk to us about the meth onesie. That's a good one.
Oh my God. Listen, drug dealers, I'm sick of your shit, okay? Sick of it. Look at this. What is it with costumes and this weird shit, right? So that is a costume. It's a cow onesie. I'm sure you could tell. Um, that is dried stiff with methamphetamine.
Hmm.
So this happened at LAX. A guy made, I didn't make this pun, but I'm going to share it, an utterly startling discovery when searching a man's checked luggage on a flight bound for Australia. So Raj Matharu, 31, of Northridge, California, was traveling on United, LAX to Sydney. This was on November 6th, and checked a pink and gray suitcases before he headed to the gate. Screening officers with U.S. Customs and the Border Protection sent the luggage through the X-ray machine, which revealed an anomaly. I don't know if a cow onesie is an anomaly, but that is what they found in the luggage. They opened the suitcases. This had, Raj Mathru's name on it, and they found that there were a lot of white or light colored clothing items that were dried stiff and covered in a white residue. Never a group of words you want to hear together in any way, regardless of what said white residue it might be.
Whew.
This included the cow onesie. Other items, this kills me. Um, Men's and women's clothing, such as socks, sports bras, and boxers, also in there. And they tested
Gross.
positive, right? They tested positive for methamphetamine.
That's a new one. That's. I think it's a new one. It's a new one to me. Yikes.
Yeah. I mean, I know that there are ways to do stuff like this, but just some random old laundry, weird cow onesie, probably stood out a little too much. Uh,
They were like, that cow
maybe,
onesie's pretty big. You could really, get a lot of product stuffed on there.
yeah. So they believe it was washed in a meth solution and then left to dry in room temperature or a cold environment. And over time, the solution would evaporate and the powdered meth would separate from the shirt to form the white residue. Basically, that's how they do it.
Hmm.
Uh, in these bags, you're going to die. This is insane. There were about 71 pounds worth of meth caked clothing.
Oh my God.
Yeah. They extracted about 1 kilogram worth of the drugs, the police did. So he is charged with one count of possession with intent to dress. I don't know. He posted a $10,000 bond and will be arraigned on December 2nd.
Hmm. Wow.
So yeah, that's a new. I mean, we've seen people commit crimes in cow onesies, but they were generally wearing them, not
Soaking them
criminal
in.
substances
Yeah.
in the clothes. That's just so bizarre to me. Like,
So I'm curious what the extraction would have been. Did they soak
I
these
don't know.
clothes in some kind of a solvent or in water? And
And
then
then let it just dry, and then what you have left is the meth powder? Maybe.
I have no idea.
I don't know, but I think he fucked up when he put the cow onesie in there because that was just an anomaly. That was
Hmm.
like, what is that? Then they have to look because if they can't recognize it through their scanning stuff, they're like, well, we better see what that is. If it had just been regular old clothes, he might have gotten through with it.
Hmm.
Just saying.
Hmm.
Criminals
Wow.
out there,
Yep.
don't take my advice though, because I don't know. I've never soaked a cow onesie in meth before, so what do I know?
What do you know? We don't know. That is
Yeah,
wild.
it is ridiculous.
Okay. Well, speaking of wild,
Hmm.
imagine being an Uber Eats driver. And imagine picking up a burrito, among other things, and going to deliver it. But partway there, you realize that your car really smells like weed, like really smells like weed. So you're
Ooh.
like, what is this burrito right here?
Mm-hmm.
So you stop and you poke around a little bit because you're like, I don't think I'm transporting a burrito right now. So you peel it open a little bit, and lo and behold, you are not transporting a burrito.
My God.
What you're transporting is, and they said it was piping hot, but it
Well,
was,
yeah, because if it would have been cold, then the driver would have been worried about it.
right?
Because I did DoorDash for a little while, and you
Yeah,
want your food to arrive hot. That's a big deal. So I'm sure they did heat it up so that it would appear like it was a burrito.
yes. Also, rather than rice and beans in there, there was a bottle of water and a box of soup. Now, the police are saying this is
Just
not
to
something
make
that
the shape.
anybody, yeah, they're saying this is not something that anybody ordered. So,
What?
is that true? I mean,
Wasn't it pizza? The pizza number 40 or whatever?
right? That's kind of what
Burrito
I thought
place is
this
not
was.
a burrito number 17 is
Yeah.
code for a box of soup and a bottle of water and a big bag of weed? I don't know. What?
So I don't know if this was mistakenly sent out
Oh my
or
God.
to the wrong person. They don't. The police don't think that whoever this was supposed to go to had intended to order whatever the situation was. But
Okay, well,
you know, the Uber Eats driver was mostly just like, so like I don't want to be in trouble for drug trafficking. I was just trying to deliver a burrito. But that's what you get.
wow. Oh, Jess says maybe it's a burrito with extra, extra lettuce and cilantro. Yeah, it might be. Oh my God.
Yes.
Can you imagine realizing you are inadvertently trafficking drugs?
Mhm. Yep.
Shit. Yeah, that would be
Crazy.
scary.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Indeed. Let's see. I think I wore you out.
No,
Do you have anything else?
yeah,
Oh, what else do you have?
I have two more things.
Oh, well, enlighten me. I was looking at my notes and I don't have it.
Well, let me tell you about a gal. I didn't show her picture because this was just a DUI, and so I don't like to
Oh,
put
yeah.
everyone
Okay,
on
yes.
blast. But well, recently there was quite a situation at the airport in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was a small airport, and air traffic control had made some reports because there was a car just driving around on the runway and blocking the runway, like just for reasons unknown to anyone,
That's not
uh,
suspicious.
driving around out there on the runway. And so, they called the police, and the police came out and they talked to this woman, and they're like, "Ma'am, what are you doing? I haven't done anything wrong. What are you talking about?" Well, this was a DUI. She drank maybe 3 beers before she got to the airport, and then she did do a little drinking while she was parked. These are all things that she said.
Oh, Lord.
But somehow it didn't really dawn on her that she was at the airport and she was driving around on the runway.
Yikes.
I guess the air traffic people stopped her and took her keys from her, waiting for the police. Like, Jesus, woman, you're going to hit a plane. What are you doing? Uh, she said she didn't do anything wrong. She wasn't doing anything. She said, I'm okay. And I
Hmm.
guess the officer said, no, I think it's too late for that. And she said, why? And the officer said, well, after you endangered the pilots by driving around on the runway, we kind of got to charge her with the DUI.
Hmm.
So, holy shit. Um, Apparently, if you can imagine, this was day two of this incident. She had done it the day before too, and they just hadn't caught her.
Wow.
So yeah, this woman needs to probably have her keys taken, maybe forever. But yeah, there
Hmm.
are going to be some DUI charges there. She just thought she was driving on the
Yikes.
road, man. Just looked like a road. And he fell.
Ma'am, what are you doing? And that's
Yeah, I'm
funny.
not doing anything. What are you talking about? I'm not doing anything. They're standing on a runway at the airport. Yeah.
It seems to be a bit problematic.
Yikes.
Big yikes. Yeah. Okay, so Conor McGregor.
Oh, yeah.
So Conor McGregor, who, as you know, is a well-known fighter, uh, he he's been found liable in a rape and sexual assault case.
Hmm.
He was accused of brutally assaulting a woman in a Dublin hotel in December 2018, and he has been found liable for that in Ireland. So he's, as you know, an MMA fighter. There has been a
Yeah.
lot of fallout. The businesses that were carrying his whiskey have a lot of them have pulled out. He's had a lot of other business ramifications at this point. People are pretty much
Mhm.
running the other way from Conor McGregor at this point.
Good.
Yep.
Jackass. Jeez.
So he has been ordered to pay damages, which is about £250,000, which is about $257,000 in US dollars.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay. Wow.
not good. I mean,
I
this
mean, good for
isn't.
her.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's terrible. She was left with bruises and post traumatic stress disorder. Uh, she was also assaulted by a friend of McGregor's.
Oh my God. These
Yeah.
these men that think that they're invincible and can just do shit like this.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, so
and be
actually,
happy that we're taking a comeuppance.
the finding is that Lawrence did not assault her. She accused both of them. Lawrence apparently got off the hook on that. It's
Oh,
just McGregor. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So
Yikes.
not good. He did tweet
But all
out
he
about
has to
it
do is
that
pay
this
money.
is
There's
far
no
from
jail.
over. Yeah, but not good. Yes, she
Ugh.
was terribly injured. Yeah, physically and sexually injured terribly. Yeah, it's
That's
bad. It's
horrible.
awful. Yeah. Can any of these men just not be like this? Any of them?
Right.
Any of them?
I mean, you think? No.
This is why we choose the fucking bear.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Right, the fiance looks terrible. Oh my gosh. There's pictures of them coming out of court. Whew. Is that girl safe?
To run as far as she can get and get away from this asshole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Scary and sad. Okay, you've got one more.
Oh, do I? And you think all these cases have been humdinger, but you haven't heard this one yet? This is insane. This jackass right here is or slash was a surgeon. His name is Thomas Sheknovsky. And Thomas Sheknovsky will probably go down in history as the dumbest surgeon that has ever lived, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because this man, listen, how he was allowed to do this a second time, I don't know. Okay?
This should
He was
scare you all.
licensed,
This is
it
a
should,
new question to ask your surgeon.
right? It is. So he was licensed to practice. He's a DO and a doctor of osteopathic medicine in Alabama and Florida. He now, since a surgery that he did in August, this was an emergency surgery on a man named William Bryan. He was on uh, vacation when he got really sick and needed to have his spleen removed during emergency surgery. And look, having your spleen removed is extremely serious. It can kill you, and it is extremely difficult to live without a spleen because your spleen is a huge part of your immune system. It makes white blood cells. It's a big deal, right? Um, he really didn't want to have the surgery. He was not so sure. Maybe he should just wait till he gets home. He was on vacation in Florida, and the medical staff at this hospital were like, "No, This is an emergency. You got to have this right away. This could kill you.
Hmm.
Really serious, right? So he finally agrees to an emergency laparoscopic splenectomy. Um, Apparently, the operating room staff were short on time. They had to get through this quickly.
Hmm.
Um, this hospital didn't usually perform splenectomies. It's a very serious surgery. Um, so Sheknovsky performed the operation.
Hmm.
Apparently, operating staff were concerned at the time that he did not actually have the skill level to perform this surgery. So,
Yeah.
why was he doing it? Also, this jackass arrived an hour late for this man's surgery. And then he decided, rather than do this laparoscopically, he decided to make it an open procedure to mitigate any difficulties in visibility. Now, this is
Yeah.
going to be important in a minute.
Hmm.
There were major complications in this surgery. Number one being that Sheknovsky took out his liver instead of his spleen. You know, an organ that you most definitely cannot live without. If your liver goes down, you are down. That's it, man.
Hmm.
It
And the
is
liver is not in the same place of, nor does it look like a spleen.
no, they're definitely two separate organs. But this dude is such a jackass. So apparently, uh, people in the courtroom with him said he fired a stapling device blindly into this victim's abdomen. Holy shit.
My God.
Then removed what he believed to be his spleen, but was actually his liver. And then later, um, told the operating room staff to label said spleen,
Hmm.
said liver with
Liver.
the label spleen and sent
Hmm.
it to the pathology lab. As though the doctor in the pathology lab would look at that and go, sure, that's a spleen. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
And this poor man died.
Yeah.
Because, of course, he did. You take
Yeah.
somebody's liver out, they're dead. That's it.
Right. Well, there's no.
Um,
There would be a have to lot to be happen there to keep him alive. They didn't do those things.
right. And I mean, long term, you cannot live without a liver. You just can't.
No.
So, the State Board of Medicine in Florida decided that they better suspend his license because his error demonstrated either a lack of clinical understanding or a lack of integrity, and predicted that his reckless conduct is likely to continue. He murdered somebody. Let's just be
Yeah.
real. But listen to this. This is after another incident where he removed somebody's pancreatic tissue instead of an adrenal gland that had a mass on it. You know, the pancreas, another organ you cannot live without.
Oh my God.
And that caused
Wow.
long-term permanent harm to the patient. They lived, at least at the time, but I mean, also, you can't live without a pancreas either.
Yeah.
Um, Holy shit.
He did not know what he was doing. Oh my
No.
gosh.
So,
Wow.
I mean, it happened in Florida.
Hmm.
Good news. They finally took his medical license away. You know,
Hmm.
he only had to destroy two people in order for
Hmm.
it to happen. I would like to know why there aren't criminal charges. How can you not know the difference between a spleen and a liver if you are, in fact, a surgeon?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, let me show you his face again for the wall of shame. There he is.
Hmm. That
Worst
is
doctor in
arrogance in
history.
motion right there.
Isn't it?
Hmm.
What an asshole. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That guy didn't even want to have this surgery, and he killed him.
Yep.
So sad.
Yep.
Jesus.
So Victoria's saying that coming out of Florida is that other people are coming forward that have also had bad experiences. This is going to be an
I'm
entire
sure.
chronicle. Yeah.
Isn't it? I mean, how long did they let this guy, how many botched surgeries did he get before this, you know?
Hmm. That's a great question. Wonder where his degree's from, Sandwillow said. Good question.
I was wondering that too. Like, he can't tell the difference between various organs in the body. Like, he couldn't tell the pancreas from an adrenal gland tumor. He couldn't tell the spleen and the liver apart. Like, did this guy actually go to medical school? Like, what the hell?
Right? Is this a catch me if you can kind of situation? Like, what the hell? Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
is he
something.
even a doctor? Like, it's very scary, and it's
Mm-hmm.
really sad for this poor man who lost his life, and for that other person that they fucked up their pancreas. That is
Yeah.
lifelong horrible problems
Mm-hmm.
when your pancreas is screwed up. So
Yep. But also, they had a mass elsewhere that he didn't remove, so they probably had to have surgery again.
probably, yeah, to go get the actual adrenal tumor off. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what the hell?
Yep. Yep.
What did he go? What did he get his degree at? Dr. Pepper? Like, what the fuck, man?
Dr. Pepper. Yeah. Yes. Oh, he went to Midwestern, Victoria says.
Mm.
Unbelievable. Yep.
He played the game Operation and said, "I'm ready." I think you're right, but I think that is exactly it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the poor staff that's had to work with him who are watching this shit with horror, but
Like, wait a
he
minute.
is overly confident and arrogant and just plowing forward. That's terrifying. So that now is a question to ask your surgeon. Have you ever removed the wrong body part?
Yeah,
Just double
let's
checking for you
let's
do
just be
stuff on
damn
me.
sure you know the difference between a spleen and a liver. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Unbelievable. Well, I've got one more story for you tonight that is also pretty unbelievable.
Oh
This
boy.
is also a Florida man, unbelievably. But there is a man in Florida who pulled off a pretty epic catfish.
Oh boy.
And unfortunately, we've been saying this for a lot of years. We've all been saying this for a lot of years, but keep an eye on your old people because, and not all elderly people, I don't mean to disparage anybody, but unfortunately, we've got lots of grandmas out there that are way too trusting and way too willing to, give money and things where they shouldn't. Our grandma was so afraid of something like this happening that she wouldn't answer the phone.
Yes.
But what happened? I'm getting ahead of myself. Here's our perp right here. This guy
Oh boy.
convinced a lady on the internet that his name is Elon Musk. It
I
isn't.
mean, Elon Musk keeps trying to follow me on TikTok. So
Oh, yeah, I'm not surprised. This is Jeffrey
also several
Arthur.
Johnny Depps.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, I have a lot of Garth Brooks. I have 26 Garth Brookses that follow me on TikTok.
I've had Jesus Christ twice. Twice.
Now that is something. All right.
Right?
So Jeffrey Arthur Monahan Jr. was impersonating Elon Musk, catfishing this lady on the internet, this 74-year-old woman out of Texas, letting her know that if she wanted to invest in one of his businesses, he had a huge return. He told her that her $500,000 investment
Oh my God.
would net a $55 million return.
Oh, what?
So all in, he scammed her out of about $600,000, much to her
Oh my
husband's
God.
absolute shock.
Oh, yeah. Oh
hmm
no.
Now, conveniently, Jeff made it pretty easy to track this money and catch him because that money went straight into bank accounts named Jeff's Painting and Pressure Washing LLC. Just straight into his business accounts. And he
Oh
was
my
just
God.
straight away pulling that money out and spending it up. Yeah.
My hell.
Yep.
I
Just
mean,
six
why would
hundred
Elon Musk
thousand
just reach
dollars.
out to some rando and say, "Hey, I got a great deal for you"?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure if the real Elon Musk reached out to me and said that, I would be like, "Bye." Like, what?
Right. If it sounds too
Oh,
good, it is too good. Correct. Yeah. It is. That is so sad. It's so wild. My mother-in-law years ago her elderly mom was got all out of control of her finances. Like her money was not where it should be. And so she sat down and went through her entire bank account and discovered that she had given many, many, many thousands of dollars to a certain political party who had been hitting her up very frequently with the next
Ah,
new drama or trauma.
oh
And
no.
she was anxious, unfortunately, to help make sure we didn't let that black man into the White House.
Oh my God.
But
Oh,
she gave somewhere to the tune of $35,000.
that is hideous.
These things happen all the time.
Yeah, they do.
All the time.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yep.
It's sad because we live in a world where you have to immediately question scam on anything,
Definitely.
you know?
Definitely.
You can't trust anything.
No. No, you cannot.
It's anyone you don't know personally, and even if it is sometimes, you cannot trust anything that comes from a source like that.
No. No, you
Damn.
cannot. You can't. It's sad, it's scary, but that is definitely the world we're living in. So per always, check in with your folks and yourself. If it seems too good to be true, it is. Celebrities are not hitting you up on the internet. They're not. They are absolutely not. We've seen several cases of this here the last few years. You remember, I can't remember who the celebrity was, but there was a lady, I think she was in Texas, that tried to murder her husband. Do you remember this? Because she was being catfished by somebody claiming to be a celebrity who basically
Hmm.
told her the husband's got to go and she tried
Yes.
to kill him.
Well, it's like that woman from, was it Colorado? That
Yes.
thought she was in a relationship with, was it Killian Murphy
Hmm.
in the UK, and that she was going there to be with him, and he didn't have one clue who she was. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh,
And
holy shit.
didn't she kill her children?
She killed her children.
She killed her
Yeah.
children. Yeah. Yep. Mm.
Oh, Danielle says my hubby had to have his spleen removed and lost a ton of blood during the procedure. Oh man.
Ooh, I'll bet.
Yikes, Danielle. That, I know that's so dangerous, the surgery.
Look, Christine had to have a leg amputated, and her father wrote down the good leg, do not remove, just to be absolutely sure.
Right? Oh my God, no kidding.
Hmm. No
Oh
doubt.
man.
Mm. Well, be careful out there, guys. This world is wild. But
Definitely.
that's what we've got. So you guys have a good
Yep.
Thanksgiving if you're here in the U.S. and you celebrate. And if you don't, have a good Thursday. We won't be here
Hmm.
tomorrow because it's Thanksgiving and we'll be
Hmm.
at dinner at that very time that we should be
Yes,
on
we
the air.
will.
So we just won't. And then we'll be celebrating Christy's birthday this weekend. We're just going to go have fun.
Yes, we are.
I hope that you guys do as well and that you take good care of yourselves. We'll be back Monday at 6 p.m. for our next broadcast. So please like, share, follow. Thanks so much for being here. And just in the spirit of gratitude, thanks for being here, you guys. Thanks for being a part of the squad. You guys, all of you, whether you're here in the chat with us tonight or you're, the rewatch crew or the re-listen crew that'll show up tomorrow on Spotify. We appreciate you guys a lot. You have made
Yes, we do.
it possible for us to be doing this for, I think, 5 years now. And
Yep.
we have just enjoyed every second of it. So we'll keep on keeping on.
Yes, we sure
Yeah.
will.
But thank you, truly, all of the gratitude. Yep. And watch
Hmm.
for new Patreon coming out. The Patreons are going to come out on Saturday. So that's
Yep.
when you can watch for those to be coming out. Yep.
Yep.
Alrighty, guys.
Awesome.
Well, this has been yet another production of the True Crime Squad. Take care.
Bye, everybody. Gobble, gobble.